Amen. And this morning, as we celebrate our corn service and we go into the fall season and see that things are starting to change, the leaves are starting to change, and everything is looking beautiful and wonderful, we know that we can remember that every little thought and word builds our big world. We're living in a big world, and I always think, people consider themselves as little me in big world. Where do you fit in this big world? Well, the first part of fitting into the big world is remembering that every little thought and word that you send out into your world, however big or small you conceive it to be, it is building your big world. It is building your bank account. It is building your love communication. It is building your income. It is building everything in your world. And so you have to think good thoughts for your world. You have to speak good words for your world. You have to do good things for your world, remembering what Johnny Coleman, the late great Johnny Coleman, always said: I am the thinker that thinks the thought that makes the thing. So as we do this, we can affirm into the universe. Now affirm with me: I think good thoughts for my world. I speak good words for my world. I do good things for my world. So we know that everything in our world, everything in our existence, it is what we have built into our world. Things that are planned and unplanned, it has been built into our world. Now it's up for us to navigate our way through these situations. Now it is time for us to navigate this new world that we're experiencing, the new world that has been placed in front of us. Again, whether it's planned, you knew what was going to happen, you planned for this, you prepared for this, or things that happen on the fly, things that you are not prepared for, you don't think you will ever be prepared for. Just know that it is for you to navigate in great and wonderful ways. It is your existence now. So the question is, how will you respond from this moment? How will you live from this moment forth with this thing in your world? The first thing to remember is that whatever follows I am finds you. So whatever you have spoken into the world about yourself, about your world, about the people, places, and things in your world, that is what will find you. That is what will manifest and materialize in your world. We must remember that we pay the most attention to the atoms that we see the most. Our world is all about atoms and cells that have come together and have made the mic that keeps responding back to us and letting us know, I'm still working, right? The speakers, the chairs that we're sitting on, everything in our world is a combination of atoms. And because they are in our face all the time, because they have come together as people, places, things that are in our environment, that are in our world, these are the things that we pay attention to the most. Now, for better or worse, they become facts in our life. Most importantly, not only do they become facts in our existence, they become the energy of our existence. When you look at something in your area, you look at something in your neighborhood, and you may not like it there, and so every time you pass it, there is a feeling that comes up within you, right? That is the energy that you are allowing this thing, allowing these people to bring it into your world. So knowing that everything that we're seeing, everything that we're living, everything that we're experiencing is creating energy in our world, we must know that if there is a lapse in energy, in other words, if there is any confusion, any discord, any negation, can we regulate the cycle of our thoughts? The cycle of our energy in our world, the cycle of our words, the cycle of our actions that are becoming habits, that are becoming beliefs, and cycling back into thoughts and words and actions, and all of this is the cycle. Can we regulate the cycle of our experiences through the thoughts, through the words, through the actions, through the habits, and through our beliefs? Can we stop ourselves at any point of this cycle and say, this is not the word I want, this is not the belief I want, this is not the habit that I want in my life, and correct it in great and wonderful ways? We have to remember that not only do thoughts become words because we're thinking them so much that they have to come out of ourselves, but thoughts are still words floating around in our head. There are some thoughts that you would never ever say out loud, but they are still floating around in your head. So it means, as we realize that every little thought and every little word is building our big world, we have to watch the words that we say under our breath and out loud. We have to watch everything that we're saying in our world, because at the end of the day, everything in our world is bringing the life within us. Everything in our world hears and responds and becomes the very thing in our life. Everything that we're speaking, everything that we're thinking, the universe hears it. The universe responds to our belief about ourselves. The universe becomes that very thing that we have spoken into the world. And friends, as we're having these experiences, these things are all the while convincing ourselves, convincing our energy, convincing our soul and our spirit in and out of pain or joy. You can experience everything at this moment. But are you talking yourself into joy or out of joy? Are you talking yourself into pain or out of pain? And let me tell you, with pain, it comes sometimes when we do not want it to come. But again, can you regulate your emotions? Can you say, this thought is not for me, this poverty is not for me, this sickness is not for me, and I bless it out of my life? As we're working in this world, can we use intuition over impulse? Impulse is reactionary. Impulse has to do with our feelings. Impulse is when something happens and our immediate reaction is whatever the reaction is. But can we stop ourselves and use God's intuition in and through us? Can we stop ourselves and realize that whatever the impulse is, can it serve my highest good? You know, I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying, he just has all these impulses, and, he's trying to regulate these things. And I remind him that you have to stop and listen to your inner self. If your intuition is telling you to do something bad in this world, can you stop and think of the consequences, not just for yourself, but for everyone that is involved? Some people just do things in life without thinking about how it's going to affect their future, how it's going to affect their body especially, how it's going to affect the people in their world. So we use intuition to regulate these impulses so that everything that we do, everything that we speak, everything that we are, and everything that we become is for our greatest and highest good all the time, not just for our temporary joy or our temporary fulfillment. We're looking for an everlasting fulfillment, an everlasting joy in our world, and it is ours right here and right now. You just have to have the confidence. And the greatest thing about life, the greatest thing about being a child of life, being a child of God, is that our consciousness will always show up for ourselves. Our confidence in us will always show up in every experience, but it's up to us to show up for our confidence. It is up to us to show up for the things that we want to live and experience in our worlds. Friends, remember that life will always be your highest thought. Whatever your highest thought is about your life, whatever your highest thought is about your body. And I always say, if you have rolls, you have fat where fat never used to be, or fat where you don't want fat, it is okay. Bless that fat. If you want to lose it, okay, do the steps for it, but bless that fat, love that fat, know that it is part of your body. It is about your highest thought, about whatever it is that you're experiencing, from your body to your mind to the relationships in your world, to the things that you think that you can or cannot do. Again, you're always talking yourself in and out of confidence, in and out of joy and pain. Can you talk? Can you use your every little word, your every little thought to bless in the good things for your life to experience the highest level that you can experience this world? We must get order in our world. This is the final Sunday of the month of order. So we got to get our thoughts in order. We got to get our words in order. We got to get our actions in order, knowing that as we do, we're making a plan for new expressions of good. We're making a plan for new expressions of life to unfold in great and wonderful ways in our life. So therefore, let there be cancellations. Let there be forgiveness for all the times that you use your I am to claim less than your potential. Let there be cancellations and forgiveness for yourself for all the times that you use I am to claim anything less than your good. Today you can cancel those things out. They may have materialized in your body. You might be feeling sickness. You can cancel the original thought out and see everything leading up to that moment of grief, of discord, of pain, of lack now being canceled out. You can forgive yourself for ever thinking that you were less than what God needs you to be. And in that, you can forgive every hurt. You can forgive every heartbreak. You can forgive every pain. You can forgive every sickness. Because even sometimes in sickness we say, oh, well, it's the age, or my parents had this, so obviously I'm going to have that. No, you can forgive yourself for ever allowing the thought of sickness to enter your body. Even with the pain, oh, it's the age. It's always about the age, right? The older we get, we feel the less our body is. You can forgive yourself for ever believing that. You can forgive yourself for ever believing that God made a body that would ever fail, that God made a body that can ever be sick. Forgive yourself and know that as you forgive yourself from this pain, from this hurt, from this heartbreak, from this sickness, you are now free to live a life of success. There is nothing holding you down to lack and limitation. It is always lifting you up into great and wonderful ways. So affirm with me, I forgive every hurt. I forgive every heartbreak. I forgive every pain. I forgive every sickness. I am free for a life of success. I am free for a life of success. How wonderful is that? Yes, I am free for a life of success. My mind is free, no longer thinking limitation, because there is success. Now, I remember when I was a teenager learning how to drive. I had my parents teaching me how to drive. And I remember my father once said that you have to drive for other people on the road. Right? I didn't understand this because, when you're hearing these things and not actually practically driving, you don't understand what they mean. But as you go behind the wheel, especially on a highway, you got to look at your rear view mirror, you got to look at the front mirror, you got to look at the side mirrors, right? And especially on the parkway or on any big highway, there's always some guy in a racing car. I don't want to say those words, but there's always some guy that wants to let you know that his car can go faster than his or her, because I've seen women do it too. Women do it too, but they want you to know that their car can drive faster than your car. And so you see them in your rearview mirror and they're zooming through the things. And so now you got to decide if you want to change lanes. Am I going to change it now? Am I going to let this Speedy Gonzalez drive through so I don't get into an accident? Do I want this person in front of me? You got to drive for other people on the road. Same thing with life, because people mess up, right? People mess up. People disappoint us. People lie to us. People try to cheat us. And now they're talking about all these scams that are going on. These scams are so intricate that they have you running to Walmart or wherever to get a gift card so you can pay them, because they say they're going to take your house, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and some people get suckered into that. So you have to drive, you have to live your life not only for yourself, but well, they say in New York, once you're in New York, and I was born in New York, you have to keep your head on a swivel, right? You have to be concerned about everything that's going on because, especially in New York, there is always something going on and you might not want to get yourself in the middle of it, so you got to keep your eyes open. But you also have to keep your heart open, right? Keep your heart open to the things that can bring fear and lack and doubt. But the question really remains, with all the people that have lied to you, betrayed you, with all the things that have happened in your world, are you still good? Just like you have to drive for other people on the road when you see them doing stupidness. Is your car still good? Are your wheels still on? Is your steering wheel still turning, right? Is your gas still on? Is the oil still in the car, right? All these things to make sure that you are good. Are you doing that for yourself? Or are you still dependent on other people for your joy, for your love, for your fulfillment, for any good thing that you want to experience in your world? You have to have a sense of preparedness. You have to be prepared for your world. You know, I remember growing up, everyone always adopted my mother, especially the young ladies that I went to school with. And when we were in high school and starting to date and things like that, my mother would always tell them, even if you go out with the richest guy on earth, always make sure to have your VEX money, right? Now the VEX money, for those out there who don't know, it is literally, it's your mad money, as the Americans say, right? So just in case your date or even a friend of yours wants to act shady and wants to play around and wants to lead you somewhere, you have the money to get back home. You are still good. So as we're living now, we realize that people only do to us what we allow them to do in our world, especially in our personal relationships. When we think about jobs, especially now, you see this like corporate greed and people trying to climb the ladder of success in their job, in their profession, in their career, and they say you're paying dues, but the person that you have to pay the dues to is not the nicest person in the world, because there is that power dynamic, right? They know that you want something from that job, or you want something, you want a promotion, whatever, and so there is this kind of narcissism that goes on with a lot of bosses, and that can strip away at their employees' hearts and souls. And so you wonder, like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this situation? Well, first of all, it's good to identify that there is actually abuse going on. It is good to identify that even though you might be paying your dues, or you might have to kiss up to this person in order to keep your job, to support your family, and the cycle of that money cycle, right? But it's all about identifying the abuser. The abuser convinces you that you can do no better. The abuser always convinces you that this is it, this is all that you can accomplish. I remember back in high school, I don't think you knew this particular girl that I went to high school with, but she was overweight. And the word overweight is very loaded for me, because there's some people that I find that they call overweight in society, but that's just a normal body for me. But this girl was quite unhealthy. She had knee problems, breathing problems, all these things. So the weight was kind of affecting her. But she was going out with a guy that was a little bit older, and he would verbally abuse her. Not physically, so she didn't think that it was abuse. But it was that verbal, you know, you're fat, you're disgusting, and then on top of that, it was always, nobody's gonna love you like me. Don't try to go and get somebody else, because no one is gonna love you like me. So I would ask her, like, why do you even put up with this abuse? And she would repeat that abuse back to me, because no one is gonna love me like he does. He loves me, and there's always this give and take, right? They give enough love for you to hold on, and then they take it right back with the abuse. But here's what I told her. If he's the only person that could love you, what does that make him? Right? If he's the only person in the world that can love you the way that you need to be loved, then what does that make him? You can do so much better. Hopefully if you do follow social media, and you have Facebook and Instagram, please remember to friend Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach on Facebook and Instagram. We post inspirational memes throughout the week to keep ourselves encouraged. And one meme that we posted this week says, what is meant for you will not be toxic. Plain and simple. What is meant for you will not be toxic. And some people will always say, it is God, if this is God's will, let it happen in my world. Toxicity is not God's will. Sadness for yourself is not God's will. So if these experiences happen in your world, you know there is something more for you to learn, something more for you to gain in your world so that you can increase your standing in the love of God, in the love of self. So friends, today, cleanse toxicity and claim your self-love. Claim your self-independence. Claim your self-joy, because you are responsible for the energy that you allow into your life. And therefore, you are responsible for the energy that you put out into your life. So live responsibly, think responsibly, speak responsibly, act responsibly, live responsibly, and even remember responsibly. I think of some of the thoughts that, as I'm 40, that's 40 years of living. And sometimes you could be telling a story and someone that was there, whether a parent or a friend that was there 20 years ago, would say, no, this is what happened. Sometimes you can misremember things. Sometimes you have all these scenarios in your head that when you go to relive the story, you're reliving it in a totally different way, because that is how your mind has remembered these things. So it's always good to think about how we're thinking about our world, how we're speaking our world. Again, canceling and forgiving all the things that did not bring us our highest good, and know there is something new and wonderful for us to experience in our world. But friends, you have to respect the process of growth. You have to respect the process of fulfillment in your world. Everything has a process. Again, today we are celebrating our corn service. And the corn on the side of me here that we're going to bless, and you're going to take it home and you're going to put it in your home, in your kitchen, in your office, wherever you need a reminder of prosperity and growth and usefulness, because that is what the corn represents. Not only prosperity, not only growth, not only can you plant a little kernel and get all this bountiful corn, but there is also usefulness. Corn goes through stages and preparation. It goes through a vegetative state and then a reproductive state. But in that preparation, before you can even plant the seed, the farmers have to test the soil. The farmers have to use fertilizer for that soil, and the best fertilizer for corn especially is manure and compost. Right? I don't have to say any more about that, right? And there has to be an irrigation system. There has to be a way for the water to flow through the roots and through the soil and wash out what the corn does not need. And there has to be pesticide treatments, because once the corn starts to grow, the flies and the gnats want to get that good stuff and they destroy the plant. Same thing with us. As we plant our seed, just like the kernel of corn, we have to test the soil. We have to consider the environment that we are around, the people that we have allowed in our life. Is that environment, the environment that we have spoken into existence, is it good for our dream? Is it good for our fulfillment? We have to get the fertilizer, the thing that's going to nourish our dream, nourish our mind, and just like the corn, it can have manure and compost. In other words, recycle things, garbage. Sometimes we feel like people are giving us garbage. People are giving us their worst of themselves. How can we move on from that? But maybe that's what we need in order to build a bigger self. Maybe that's what we need to really stop ourselves from using words of attack, from using words of lack, and realizing that it is all a part of our highest good. It is all for our growth. There also has to be an irrigation system, just like the corn. And you have to have an outlet for your pain, an outlet for your doubt, an outlet for the negation in your world, and then pesticide treatment. Because once you start looking good, feeling good, smelling good, doing good in your world, people will always come and try to take that away from you, to try to take your joy. Will you do your own mental pesticide treatments? Understanding, again, the abusers that are telling you that you are not doing things for your highest good. And with all of that now, just like the corn, there is also usefulness. Look at all of the things that you can do with corn. You can make food. People eat corn every day for breakfast in their breakfast cereal, cornflakes and things like that. You can fry with corn oil. It is used to make fuel and batteries and plastics and crayons and glue and medicine and even hygiene products with cornstarch, right? So as you're placing your corn, wherever you're placing your corn in your home, let it be a symbol of what you are in prosperity. A symbol that you are the fulfillment of prosperity in your world, that you are the fulfillment of usefulness in your world. You have a purpose to be here. You have a purpose in your life. So your one job today is to love yourself and to love your world. Your one job today is to understand that your way to fulfillment and prosperity is already in you. That inner light that leads you to every good and perfect thing is already in you. It's not just a symbol, but it is prosperity itself. Friends, today, know that you are the very fulfillment of prosperity. Would you affirm that with me? I am the fulfillment of prosperity. Let's go into the scripture reading we just read in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 14. It says, run far, far away from idols. Anything you love more than God, and you are the expression of God, so anything you love more than yourself, run far, far away from it. Why? Because it will enslave your soul. If you're looking for outside things to make you happy, what about the soul? What is the soul clinging on to? What is the soul holding on to? What is the soul gaining from personal knowledge? If you're looking on the outside, you have to go with the inside. Author Gene Houston says, the soul is the lure of our becoming. Isn't that a wonderful expression? The soul is the lure of our becoming. And so in that, we are God's seeds becoming God's selves. We are God's seeds becoming God's self. So friends, today, what is your God self? And what do you desire your God self to be in this world? Trust your intuitions. Trust your intentions. Trust your potentials, plural, because you can have more than one intuition about something. You can have more than one potential about anything, because things are so nuanced that you think one thing and then there's so many avenues to that one thing. All of it is being taken care of within your heart, within your soul, within your very connection to life, your very connection to spirit. So you can live carefree and not careless. Right? You can live carefree knowing that everything is working for your highest good, but still thinking about what is the next step. But knowing that whatever the next step is for you, it will be okay. It will be perfect in your world. You are conscious about your consciousness. You are conscious about your consciousness. So friends, today, remain awake to any possibility. And be vulnerable in that possibility. People think that when they're vulnerable, when they cry, that there's something wrong with them. Vulnerability will never ever increase. It will never ever decrease your value. In fact, it will improve you. It will make you open to yourself, the things that trigger you, the things that work in your world, the things that don't. It will improve you, but you have to remind yourself constantly about how strong you actually are. You have to not be tempted by lack or fear or denialism in your world. You have to know that you are stronger than anything in this world. Let's go back to our scripture reading. In the verse before, in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13, it says, no temptation, regardless of its source, has overtaken or enticed you that is not common to human experience, nor is any temptation unusual or beyond human resistance. But God is faithful, compassionate, trustworthy. You will not be tempted beyond your ability to resist. So whatever challenge you think that you are going through, whatever challenge you are in right here and right now, know that you are stronger than even you think you are for that situation. You are stronger than that challenge, even at this moment. And the wonderful thing is that you never have to force strength in your world. You just have to let it flow in and through you. Cry when you need to, bawl when you need to. I think it's called the demolition place, where you can go in and you can break up a whole room and people take a sledgehammer and they just go in and it releases something in them, right? Whatever you need to do, you don't have to force your strength. It is already a part of you. So whatever you set out to do, know that you have the strength, you have the bravery for every quest in your world. You have the bravery to reach your full potential. The founder of Special Olympics, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, says, "Let me win, but if I do not win, let me be brave in the attempt." As long as you are brave in the attempt to live a good and a wonderful life, you can do as Kevin Hart says, say it with your chest. That means that you're saying it with your whole personality. You are saying it with all the love in you, all the God in you. So affirm with me, I am brave in my quest to live my full potential. Amen. So today, this corn service, speak your word now. Speak your word of a full harvest and know that you deserve it. Speak the word of a full harvest and know that you deserve it. Not the husks of limitation, not the scraps of life, the scraps of your relationship, the scraps of what people think that you deserve. No, you know what you deserve. You have to know what you deserve, and you have to demand what you deserve as a child of a living God. Every good thing in your world. And the greatest thing about it now, you never have to bargain with God. You never have to earn God's love or respect because you already have it. You are an extension, an expression, and an experience of this great and wonderful God. Call it forth right here and right now. Let your thoughts and words call forth joy and love and prosperity. Know that anytime you speak, it is done. So only speak prosperity. Only speak life. Only put your fist in the air and affirm with me. My thoughts and words call forth joy. My thoughts and words call forth love. My thoughts and words call forth prosperity. I speak and it is done. I speak and it is done. So now speak your seed word. Anything that you want materializing in your world, you have to plant that seed word, that seed thought into the universe. And know that just like the corn, as you plant it, as you understand the environment it's growing in, as you understand the people that you're allowing into your vision, into your world, they are bringing you nothing but your best, nothing but their best. And the situation can only be the best of life because that is what you have spoken into your big and wonderful world. I want to thank you so much for listening. I love you, love you, love you, and God bless you. Thank you. Amen. Let's continue on with the service. Can we stand and sing 155? 155.